Hi, my name is Charles. This is our project Ludole. Ludole is a daily game inspired by Wordle, but combines our team's passions for video games. Every day, a random game cover will be pulled from our database, and users will have 8 guesses to figure out what it is. It features daily challenges, a custom API, stat tracking, and saving and loading for continued sessions. Before I talk about the tech behind it, I'm going to pass it off to Lydia to give you all a demo.
In the center of the page, there is an obscure game image that the user must guess the correct title of in order to win today's challenge. As the user makes a guess, hints are given which are associated with today's challenge. Red means that you are incorrect, yellow means that you are close, and green means that you are correct. To the right of the screen, there is a calendar which allows you to pick a challenge for days prior to the current game. As you can see, because gameplay results persist, this day's challenge results are still available. To the right of the screen, the line graph, denotes the user's game statistics, which the user is also able to reset as your gameplay results will persist while navigating away. When navigating to add a game, the form must be filled out entirely and correctly in order to submit. Notice that the image URL is not valid and that there is error handling so that the user can know that they cannot submit until it is correct.
For our front end, we used HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with React as our framework. React Router handled page routing, Vite was our bundler, and saving and loading was implemented using local storage. Our more complex tasks, such as animated UI components and data visualization, were offloaded to Chakra UI and Chart.js. Being a team of front-end developers, we naturally were inclined to use Node.js for our backend and Express as our framework. Express was very helpful because it allowed us to focus on adding features to our backend server without focusing too much on implementation details. This was especially important to us because it was our first time building a backend application, and complexity would end up being the death of us. To store our data, we used Postgres and the Connects library to communicate with our database. Using a component library had many benefits, such as out-of-the-box accessibility, but our components ended up being tied deeply to the way the Chakra UI implements these components, forcing us down certain paths. In the future, something that we'd like to explore is more flexible solutions such as ShadCN. On the topic of future features, something that we would like to help us scale in the future is automation of data entry with data scraping tools. The initial set of 40 games we have were hard-coded and was a time-consuming task adding them all in manually, one by one. Automating this in the future would increase the amount of games that we could add in a shorter amount of time, which in turn increases the amount of fun that the end user has. A key reason why our app succeeded was communication. Communication allows members to be aware of what anyone was working on at any given time and what critical tasks were left over. Doing daily stand-ups and GitHub projects for task management allowed us to be effective because we were always updated on what everyone was doing. Thank you everyone for listening to our presentation. Not all of the members of our original team are here, but their work allowed us to make Ludole what it is today. We hope you have fun trying out our application and add it as part of your daily routine.